Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Public Works Committee meeting.
I'm not ready.
Oh, you're not ready? Okay, let me know.
No, because now I'm doing this stuff I had to do before.
Oh, okay.
I
Let me know
assume
when
we
you're
weren't
ready.
doing it in here. Hold on. Now I gotta find where you made me the captioner.
Yep.
I don't see the box. Let me see. Oh, there it is. All right. Okay. Hold on 1 minute.
We are live then.
We're fine now to go?
No, hold on.
Oh, okay.
I have to do extra stuff to do the captions in Zoom. So I didn't hear anybody asking for me. So I thought we were doing it in the other thing that my captions go to, the OneCap app. So hold on 1 second.
Are we still currently streaming, Chris?
Yes, we are.
So we are live.
Yeah. If I stop it, I have to regenerate a whole new key, which
Okay.
means a whole new meeting.
Okay, we're good.
We're good. We're ready. Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Public Works Committee meeting, Tuesday, October 25th. It is now 2:32 p.m. We have 5 items on our agenda today, and we are going to start the agenda with number 1, a discussion on, before we go any further, I must say who's present here. I'm sorry. We have Councilman Vince Pelizzi, Councilman Randy Allison. We also have present today Dave Columbine from Streets and Parks. We also have John Markley and Scott Livermore. I know I saw you here somewhere from Director of Streets and Parks. And is there anybody else? Chris Black, our IT person. I don't think I missed anybody here. Okay, first item on the agenda is discussion on traffic lights by John Markley. The reason why we're having this discussion today is there was a slight problem with some stop signs on Walnut Street and First Street. And there is a process. We do have a resolution and an ordinance in place for how things are done. The process is done as far as signage goes in the city. And obviously, and there was no there was no study done on this from what I understand, and nothing came to us because council's supposed to approve the signage. And I think we need to make sure that the process is followed through, because we don't do resolutions and ordinances just for the fun of it. And so I wanted John Markley here to explain a little bit of what's going on and what the problem in the situation is. John, I'm going to give you the floor.
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me come on to Public Works meeting. And most of all, that this has nothing to do with administration, council, or anybody. It's just trying to follow the law, the federal guideline of the MUTCD book manual, which is governed by the federal government. On October the 2nd or 3rd of this year, 2 stop signs were placed at the corner. Actually, it's not even a corner. It's a curve of Walnut and First Street. I got to tell you, after a little investigation, I found out there was 1 phone call made that someone almost got hit and stop signs went up. I've lived here 45 years. Neighbors have been down here 50 plus years. Property owners, one business has been here over 100 years, and there's never been stop signs there. When Anchor Darling was really in full bloom, there was 4 parking lots completely filled. I'd say 400 cars easy when I moved here. Even in front of my house in Lumber Street was parked. Never had an issue of stop signs at that intersection. It's more of a curve than anything. So my neighbors have been know me, of course. They know what I did for the city. It was traffic control. And they asked me what we could do. Can't we fight that? I go, well, we can. I put a petition together. Bonnie, I gave it to you. I gave one to Scott Livermore. And I texted the mayor and let him know I had one. I have all property owners on here. No students signed this because I do have students that live down in this area. These are mostly all property owners and 2 businesses. The only business I didn't get yet, and I've been kind of sick, is Jasper Steel across the street from me here. But if you really want to look at the intersection, I've been doing my own little study on it. This is what I did for the city of Williamsport to help council and the mayor and administration. Somebody would call in to the mayor or council. We'd go look at the intersection, would survey it. We'd look at action reports. We'd ask the police.
Mazio! Oh, sorry. Forgot
I'm sorry,
Go ahead, John.
did I say something?
No. That was the
Okay,
captioner.
okay. So I lost train of thought there, but anyway, we would investigate the intersection before you stick stop signs up. In order to put stop signs up, like legally, it should have signing, advancing you to the stop signs. There should be flashing lights put on the stop signs. These are all within a trial period unless you get a petition. Once a petition hits, because you have the neighborhood that's upset about it, has no need for it. Then the mayor and council would look at it and say, hey, it's not warranted. If you want to look at an intersection, for example, look at 3rd and Poplar. If Council Randy, you guys all remember when PennDOT came to us, they wanted to move all their traffic from 4th Street to 3rd Street, remember?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
what they did is they made an extra road by Wu Block. They never put stop signs up at Poplar or on 3rd Street. They didn't want to disturb the flow of traffic on that U intersection. That is exactly the same thing we have here. You have traffic that goes westbound that wants to make a left conflict into Wu Block, but there's also visibility issues. But there's never been an accident there. There's never been an issue there. And there's never been stop signs. That has traffic 24/7. This intersection down here, I've been looking at it now for the last 4 days. And we have a school bus stop. It's in the middle of School Alley and 1st Street. There's 3 parking lots down here, and its visibility is wide open. So what happened was, there's no pedestrian crossing here either, because all the students walk on the north side of 1st Street and they go north on Walnut and get on the bus on the west side. Parents park in the parking lot. So as of 3 days, I've had a total of, in about 4 hours, 20 cars. 20 cars. Meanwhile, everybody's coming down south on Walnut Street has to stop for what? All your taxpayers live on the north side of 1st Street between Walnut and Camel. They all come down Walnut, make a nice right-hand turn, and they park in front of their home. Now we have to stop. You're stopping for what? Because somebody made a phone call and they almost got hit. Well, 2 things could have happened. One, they came out of the Stamens parking lot and didn't stop, which they must yield to the right-of-way, public right-of-way. All parking lots, driveways must yield to the public right-of-way. That's number 1. If they're coming out and heading westbound. Number 2, if you're heading southbound on Walnut and you want to make a left-hand turn going into Stamens lot, You must yield the right of way of somebody coming around First Street going east to go north on Walnut. That's by the law. Why do we have stop signs put up for one phone call? That's what the neighbors are upset about. And I got to tell you, I'm going to do more traffic study down here for you, which that should be the city of responsibility. Not me, but I'll do it because that's what I used to do for the city of Williamsport. I'm not trying to make trouble for anybody, but why stop vehicles that don't need to stop on a curve? The driveways coming into the public right of way must yield or stop. That's the law. You have a manual of uniform traffic control device book. That book was designed by the federal government. So, for example, double yellow lines, they got to be so wide, they got to have so much space between them on each one. You got to have glass beads on it. They tell you how far apart your crosswalks need to be. They tell you the distance of your signage. They tell you what signs go where. It's a law. It gives you the guidelines. And I don't blame the administration at all. I understand probably somebody got a little heat because of one phone call and they didn't know what to do. And that's what's puzzling. Like I said, I have nothing against administration, streets and parks, city council, but I've done this job for 45 years. I know what I'm talking about, gentlemen, ladies. And please take what I'm asking to heart because it's crazy to stop that. You need to drive down here and see what I'm talking about. Yesterday, I took a survey, school bus pulled up. There was between 350 and 425. 350, First Street, left-hand turn, I had 6. They were people picking up their students and they parked in the parking lot on the west side of Walnut. Southbound on Walnut Street to make a right-hand turn to go by my home, 7 vehicles. That's an hour and a half. 0 left, 0 pedestrians. I took another survey at 7:30 last night. Well, I got to tell you, the school bus pulled up at 4:02. They were done at 4:05. Stamens locked their gate at 4:10. Everybody has to stop for what? For what? And the cost of fuel today, making them stop. People are not stopping. I stand there because I had a clipboard. They stopped because they kind of thought, well, I don't know. So I just stand on my porch now. I can see the whole intersection. That's how good the visibility is. That's my complaint. I tried to give you guys an opportunity to look at 3rd and Poplar. You see what I'm talking about? This has fraction of the intersection. 7:30 last night. Left turns on First Street to Walnut, 5. 10 a.m. this morning, left turn on the Walnut Street, 3. Walnut Street southbound to make a right turn on First Street, 2. 1 made a left-hand turn into Stamens. Stamens had 2 tractor trailers come in. No issues. I have no issues with tractor trailers. 0. Their business is great. They actually cleaned up the neighborhood by putting that nice business in down there. It's really nice. But I don't know who made the phone call. That's not my problem. But the neighbors are upset. I have a petition from 736, 730. All the homes down here on First Street from Walnut to Campbell. There's one address I did not do. Is 762 and 764. That's kind of a duplex like, and I think there's students that live in there. So I didn't bother that address. And they're right across the street, Hermance's office there. But I have 2 businesses, Hermance's, been here for 100 years, and 21st Century Signs. All saying what happened. one lady that signed it down here, I'll give you her address if you like it. She said, I didn't know the stop sign was there. I stopped, my son's behind me. He darn near hit me. I said, "What?" She goes, "What is that?" I said, well, we'll be going to court and the city would lose because they do not want their instruction to be erected there. My voice is starting to drop. Any questions for me?
Vince, Randy, any questions?
I don't
I don't
know.
have any.
Okay, Scott. Let's see, Scott, you're on this. Where are you? Scott Livermore. Obviously there's a situation here. Where do we progress to go further with this?
So basically, what I got out of the ordinance book at section 50301, regulations authorizing to put this in for a study to be done because we had a near miss incident. So it's temporarily up for 90 days, and then we reconvene on this to see where we came on the matter with it.
Okay, so what you're saying is the stop signs will stay there for 90 days. You're going to be doing a study on it, right?
This is
See
part of
where-
the study. Yes, yes.
Okay, and then we can come back to this in 3 months.
Yep.
To see where we stand. Obviously, the citizens that live around there are upset about having the stop signs there. But this should have been,
I
the
have
study
a
should have.
question.
Yes, Randy.
Excuse me, Bonnie. Do we have a study of how many accidents have been there?
Not that I don't have offhand.
I could tell you 0,
Over what period of time? I mean,
50 years. And yes, they do have the right to put signs up for 90 days. But in that 90 days, you have petitions, you have complaints, they can come back down. You don't have to wait the full 90 days. I'll tell you what, I don't know, Randy, if you remember, not to drag this on, but a mayor went up to Jackson School and changed the flow of traffic around Jackson School.
right,
Made one streets one way, made streets the other way, put stop signs up, did everything he could. We spent 2 weeks, spent all that money on signage, signposts. Remember that, Randy?
yes, I do.
2 weeks later, guess what? What were we doing, Randy?
Taking them.
Not taking everything down and putting it back where it was. That's a good example.
Scott, I think what we're going to do is I will talk to the mayor about this.
Mhm.
How many people do you have signed with the petition, John?
Uh,
I couldn't count them all.
any further than this neighborhood right here.
Right.
I mean, I
right.
could go over to Second Street, I could get Lumber Street, but I didn't feel that was right. I think it's more the people it affects is right here on First Street.
Right. And John, you've been doing this, like you said, long enough. You and I have had our we've knocked heads over the years over your time studies. The timings on street lights and so on and so forth. And, and everything is a process here. So, Scott, let's keep in touch with this and I will talk to the mayor about this. All right.
All right.
Okay. John, I thank you very much. We'll
Thank
keep
you.
in touch.
Thank you, guys. And like I said, there's nothing against Scott, nothing against the mayor, nobody. I just hope everybody understands that. Please, because it's just what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
Well, it's also a process that should have been gone through first.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Okay, thank you, John.
Yep.
You take care now.
Yep.
Get rid of
Bye-bye.
that cold.
I'm trying.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay,
Yep.
number 2 on the agenda, resolution authorizing excavation, Jesus.
That's easy for you to say.
Whoa, I'm gonna tell you, gotta stop drinking my coffee here. excavation of certain streets for a water main replacement by City of Williamsport and the Williamsport Municipal Water Authority. Dave Columbine, you're up.
Okay, Bonnie, it's good to see all the parties here that are on the Public Works Committee. Again, I say, hopefully everybody's having a good afternoon.
Yep. You too, Dave.
I have a written request here from the Williamsport Municipal Water Authority. They started a project, I'm calling it the William Street Project, water main, new water main installation and related services. They started that project mid-October. We got two items here. The first one, of course, is the William Street project currently underway. They'll be working in areas of William Street there by the Genetti, between 4th Street, 5th Street, working in West Edwin. They'll be working in 5th Street and in Laurel Street for new main and services. And they are requesting that that excavation and construction continue to what may be possibly to maybe to the end of the year down there at that William Street project. Going to be mid-December, maybe close to the end of December. That's their estimated time frame for construction, excavation, and hopefully to get it to a point where the material is placed in order as according to their agreement, and also with the city, with the kind of finished materials, and to be set in a point that will set until next year when it can be on the schedule for milling and paving and full permanent restoration. And they are requesting to continue this excavation for this project into, as I say, into the middle of December, maybe close to the end of December. The second project they wish to work on is in the area of First Avenue, up top of the hill, First Avenue, Second Avenue, and Hollywood Circle. They are requesting permission to start this job about the end of December and may very well go into March of next year. Of course, we'll be dealing with weather conditions, weather permitting, construction times, and so forth. But they're requesting to work on this project, as I say, about the middle to late December into March of next year is their estimated time frame. And they have submitted a written request to the city, indicating, of course, that the temporary pavement would be as such that would be a high performance cold patch, which we have required in the past. They're planning on the high performance cold patch in the roadway areas until the permanent pavement can be placed in the spring, as I say, through milling and paving. They also specify to the contractor that they're responsible to maintain it and protect all the temporary pavement until the permanent pavement can be replaced and applied. So we wanted to mention that we do have a written request from the Water Authority to proceed with what they're currently doing down on William Street and start the Hollywood Circle, First Avenue and Second Avenue water main replacement and related services into March of next year. And that's what I have.
Any questions, Randy?
Yeah, is Ronca the contractor doing all of this work?
That's correct.
Okay, because that's totally under the Water Authority, then it's not through us or anything like that.
It's a Water Authority project. They've subbed it out to Ronca. Ronca's
Okay.
been their number one primary
Yeah.
contractor they utilize for the water mains.
Would you be inspecting the patching they do?
I will be out there time to time, which I always try to do with anything
Yeah.
that's going on with any projects, whether it be UGI, Kylie, Water Authority. I do
Right.
stop down there at times. I will say might not be there every day for the full hours because there are days when I have some other items going on with
Sure,
BGI that I'll,
understood, yeah.
but I do at times, I try to make it a point, a couple times
Yeah.
a week. I like to stop down there. I like to see how
Right.
Ronka's doing and keep an eye on Kylie, see
Yeah.
if there's any questions, any complaints, and to see how they're backfilling. And we're also following up to make sure they're getting the cold patch
Right.
in there and the temporary as per
Yeah.
specs.
That's great, just so we have pair of eyes on it, you know.
Yeah,
like everybody
as I
said,
say,
just the-
as I say, I'm not there all the time, but
Yeah.
I try to get there a couple hours, 3 to 4 hours, and try to spend maybe 2 days to 3 days a week is what that might average.
Mhm. And what's the difference between regular cold patch and high performance?
Well, I'm going to answer that by saying your high performance cold patch has a little bit better fine granule material to it, so you're able to compact it and get it into areas that with the 1 foot cutbacks and as per the requirements to get it all into place there, it has a little bit finer ability to it to conform and maybe get a more flattened surface with the existing roadway.
Mhm.
Scott, you can chime in on that if you want.
Yeah, I would say it has more sandy texture and cost, more money.
Cost more, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, it's more of a sandy type mixture than the regular cold patch.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Vince, do you have any questions?
No, I mean, well, I guess I do. If they begin cutting this, you said the end of December and hope to be done by beginning of March. I understand wanting to get the project done. Having had construction inspection and environmental inspection background, I can't help but wonder about the climate conditions and the impact it's going to have. If they're cutting open a street and all of a sudden we end up getting a snow squall with a street open and we have cars sliding down Hollywood Circle into a ditch, that might be a problem. Do you, Dave, Scott, do you foresee any kind of, potentially dangerous situations for pedestrian or automotive traffic, given the time that this work's going to be done?
I'm going to answer that one, and Scott, you pick up. But I'm going to say that seeing how Ronka's been working as the subcontractor to the Water Authority, a lot of this is driven by temperature. Once they get into 32 and below, then a lot of the material, a lot of it's trucked in out of the area. And they try to keep it as hot as possible and bring their trucks in that have they have covers, and then maybe some of them do have the heat equipment in there to try to keep this material warm, so that when they come into town and that area is ready for top, or at least the base material or the high performance cold patch, they're laying it down there when it's above 32. Once it gets below 32, because it gets a lot worse to work with and it doesn't compact right, doesn't sit right. They know that. They've been doing it for a while. So they know that they have to get this material in when it's suitable and it's at the right kind of temperature. If something comes up where there's anticipating a snow squall or something like that, if it's late in the day, I'm going to say that they typically will plate. If it looks like it's that bad, they'll plate it and at least get it to a point where it's drivable and secured to the best that they can to their ability, so that they can still allow traffic to flow when they're done with their day.
I figured that's what would be done. I just, for the sake of everybody that needs to hear what would happen, I had to ask the question. So I appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah.
Bonnie, I have no other questions.
Okay, the only problem that I have is you have the holiday season coming up and they're going to be working on William Street. This could disrupt the flow of traffic when people are trying to get their shopping done and going to the restaurants and so many different things during the holiday season. That's the one thing that I find disturbing, especially in this day and age when the economy is not exactly where it should be at all, and to make it more difficult for people to get around town. I find that a little bit disturbing. Every year we come up with one of the utilities wanting extensions on doing things during the winter. And these are a lot of streets right now. These are a lot of streets. And, you know, we do have the ordinance that states nothing being done is permitted from November 1st to March 1st. And, you know, there's a reason for that at times. There really is. And I just, like I said, I find it a problem with it, with the holiday season coming up. And that's what I find a problem with. And you don't know how long they're going to be on William Street at all, do you?
I can best answer that according to their estimate. They want to hopefully be done and pull out of there by mid-December. That's the rough timing that I've been advised.
You know, this is you know, we have how many businesses on William Street? Like, we have a jewelry store, and I can't remember what else is on there on that street. But I know, you know, it's that time of year when people are trying to make money to, you know, to make up for some of the losses that we've had in the last couple of years, and, you know, to make their life a little bit more difficult is kind of frustrating right now. But it is what it is, and we don't vote on this. We just have a discussion. This will come to the full body of council, so we'll see what the full body of council has to say about this. Okay.
Yes.
Scott, do you have anything to add to this?
Not really. I was just thinking, I don't know. I didn't see their schedule or the contract. I'm assuming that is the road's going to be an open excavation all through the night, or do they, you know, do the work during the day? Is it going to be open to traffic in the evenings, on the weekends? I don't know. I didn't see it. I'm just asking the question.
How they've been performing so far, Scott, and they've done this at a number of their projects that they work on, is they allow for time as they get into an afternoon, typical Monday through Thursday, because there are times when they're not working Friday because they're working 4/10s.
Mm-hmm.
Typically what they'll do is come 3 o'clock, roughly around 3 o'clock or so, they'll start getting their fill in place, and they'll start getting their top, say down at William Street, they're getting their cold patch in place so that they're ready to pull out of there. Everything's cold patched, and except for if they have to plate. I noticed that when they had to tie in the other day and they had to shut down the water supply in parts of Williamsport, they had the tie in there at Edwin. That was plated only because it had to be plated. It was getting, yeah.
So basically, is what I'm trying to get at maybe is, so for Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there, you know, traffic's not hindered for the holiday shoppers. It's going to be too bad of a deal for them.
If they continue with not working Friday, sometimes if there's like a storm or something that occurs on Tuesday or Wednesday, they might work Friday because they're trying to get their hours in.
Yeah.
So they'll work Friday to compensate for having to be off on Tuesday or Wednesday. But by that time of the day, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, everything usually and typically is cold patched and ready for traffic.
Okay. So
And weekends, of course, are also available for traffic.
So, I
Okay.
mean, I see the downtown district, you know, hindered a little bit, but I mean, with that schedule, it's the peak time for weekends and some of the evenings they could still manage.
Well, I'm sure we're going to hear from some of the businesses on William Street that this is not going to make them very happy. Let me put it to you this way, to the two of you. Is this absolutely necessary right now?
Dave, I haven't been working with them much, so I don't know. Dave, that to be your question.
Let me ask you, is there anyone from the Water Authority here?
No, they're not.
Because I did send them over the links for this meeting, so that I sent it to Bill and to Eric and also to Dave Mosteller.
I'd say that could be something we could reach out to the Water Authority and have that answered by Thursday.
I think we need that answer because I just don't, I think we all know where businesses are at this time, and, and you just don't want to make their life more difficult. You really don't. So
let me add, I'm going to add something here as well. Is when this all came up and they had brought it to my attention that they wanted to continue this construction, take this project into mid-November, mid-December, the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, we're going to go into Thanksgiving, we're going to go into Christmas, we're going into shopping, we're going into snow, weather, inclement weather, cold temperatures, all those factors come into play. So one of the items that I had put on my email to them to request this letter from them to bring it to Public Works and also to council that they wish to take this construction and excavation into the moratorium period. I had asked them why. I asked them, I said, please advise us in the city as to why is it that this has to be done at this time of the year? And I don't have an answer for you.
Well, maybe it would behoove us to have them
Mhm.
at council on Thursday, so they can answer these questions.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
You know, I really think that should be done. Dave, do you want to extend it to them, or Scott?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
touch base with Eric or whatever.
That we would like somebody from the water authority they could answer these questions. I just don't want to see this much disruption
Right.
in the downtown area of all areas and at that time of the year.
I wonder if it'd be possible for them to flip-flop their schedule and do Hollywood Circle and First Street and some of that other stuff outside of the central business district in the first half, and then hit the other stuff up later.
I mean, yeah, it's a question for the water authority, but yeah, I mean, we can reach out with them tomorrow, get with you, Dave, on either have them come Thursday or get an answer anyway, so we can have some of these questions answered Thursday.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, well then we'll bring that forward Thursday when it comes up. Let's, and let them know this is what our discussion is at this meeting. Okay, that there is concerns. There really is on my part, and I think the rest of the committee also. We realize how much, I mean, 3 of us are in business, for God's sakes.
True, Bonnie.
So, okay, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Dave, very much. Okay.
Yes,
We'll
you're
see
very
you
welcome.
Thursday.
Yep. Good to
Yes.
see you, Dave.
Thank you. Good to see you, Randy. Take care. Scott, Vince.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, number 3, resolution authorizing the execution for a municipal services agreement between the city and Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for maintenance of slopes along Miller's Run.
That was,
Scott,
wasn't it?
this is you.
Yeah, so basically what you have in front of you, it's an agreement between the city and PennDOT to help us maintain Miller's Run, which is the levee in between Lowestoft and the city of Williamsport. There's a short piece there that we maintain and mow and keep up with. We do this every year with them. This year's amount for fiscal year 23 to 24 amount is going to be $3,615 that they'll give us to keep that levee as best looking as we can and up to date. Yeah, so it's really cut dry. Any questions?
Randy,
No, I think so.
Vince?
No questions.
Yes, we do this every year. The
Mhm.
3,000 and some change that they give us, is it the same amount, Scott, from the
I bel-
previous years?
Yes, I believe so. Yep. Yeah, because
'Cause
the discs don't change or anything.
I never looked it up and I apologize for that. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay, next item on the agenda is resolution approving the conveyance of vacated portion of Franklin Street to Lycoming College. And we don't have Norm Lubin here, do we?
I don't see any phone numbers, no.
Okay, then we will have
I mean,
gee, I guess we could have a discussion,
Yeah,
but we don't have Norm explaining anything.
right, yeah. It's not, I mean, it's hard to picture it from the description that the surveyor puts out there, but I think it's that piece of land we've talked about that when Franklin Street was and Basin Street were straightened out there. There was a little chunk left off to the side. And I believe that's what we're.
I know, it's very hard. When I read this, I didn't understand all of it, Randy.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's technical jargon that,
I know.
but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's just that little chunk of green space there, and we certainly don't have use for it, and we're not gonna cut that grass, so.
No, no, definitely not. And I don't think there's a problem with any postal addresses either in that area.
No,
I don't think there's anything there for that. Because that was part of the conversation when this road was going through, that some of the
okay.
postal, remember the addresses?
Yes. Mhm.
And I don't think that has anything, that portion, I'm assuming, which I shouldn't assume without having,
Yeah.
being, guided in this.
Yeah, maybe this is something different, but I don't think it is, but I guess we can.
Well, we're just gonna have to wait until
We can
Thursday
figure
at
it
this
out,
point.
yeah. We can figure it
And-
out Thursday.
With the questions, I don't know what happened to Norm, but it is what it is, so.
Yeah.
So we'll save our questions till Thursday then.
Yep,
I hope Norm was feeling good,
yeah, me as well.
so we don't
All
know,
do, yeah.
don't know what the problem was. Okay, so, last item on the agenda is any related items. Does anyone have anything to bring to the table?
Not I.
If not, then I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
all right,
Thank you all very much.
thank you.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank
Everybody
you.
have a good
Take
rest of your
care.
day.
You guys have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.
Take care.